Nancy Shaw, and I live in Vancouver. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to present my opinions to you. I will always beg for the closure of the elephant captivity at the Oregon Zoo. I will always beg for saving their lives by moving them to the Performing Animal Welfare Society Sanctuary in California and the Elephant Sanctuary in Tennessee. I will always beg you to stop the senseless breeding. My opinion is the only reason for newborn elephant at any zoo is for the excess revenue accrued by increased attendance. Of course, that's wonderful for the employees, oversight committees, city, council, metro, and state. Where is the 4-year-old Samudra going now? I hope it's not to circus where other Portland elephant babies were doomed to hell on earth. These magnificent animals deserve our utmost respect and consideration. My protest at the zoo is standing by the entrance holding my elephants.com sign. My intent is to encourage people to go to this site and for the Tennessee Elephant Sanctuary and educate themselves about how intelligent elephants are and how much more they need and deserve in their environment. One day, while standing close to the iron gate with a revolving turnstile, I witnessed a little 6 or 7-year-old girl stop dead in her tracks and with the most plaintive voice ask her dad, "Are we going to jail?" I thought to myself, you most certainly are, from the mouths of babes. This is my challenge to you as individuals. Go stand in front of the poor soul caged inside that tiny indoor viewing exhibit. Do not talk, lean, sit, or shuffle from one foot to the other during the entire time that elephant is forced to be there. Go inside the barn for an extended period of time and observe how they are treated. Watch the pacing and habitual movements of the 2 or 3 in the small area for viewing. Then think of this, 24/7, 365 days, times how many unbelievable years with absolutely no help. Finally, I brought a copy of the scathing June 25th, 2012 Superior Court ruling in Los Angeles in favor for the defendants, the elephants in the LA Zoo. It is only a small step in the right direction, but all zoos, including the Oregon Zoo, must take notice. I don't know what a life sentence is, but I do think Packy has paid that. One of the Portland bulls, Sabu, died this year at the California Sanctuary. They do have room for Packy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shaw. Scott?
Good afternoon. My name is Courtney Scott. I live in Northeast Portland, and I'm here today to petition you again to release the elephants to the preserve we voted for in 2008. So far, the Zoo Bond Oversight Committee has not provided any concrete plans for purchasing land or establishing the preserve. I realize land use permits take time, but when I stood before you last, Packy was 49. Now he is 50. He and the other 6 elephants are still living in conditions that are every bit as bad as the Los Angeles Zoo, which was just successfully sued for its poor treatment of its elephants. The 3 elephants at the LA Zoo are on an expanded 6-acre exhibit. Activists there recognize that 6 acres is not enough space for 3 elephants and are working tirelessly to release them to sanctuary. Therefore, how could 1.5 or even the new 6-acre on-site expansion possibly meet the needs of 7 elephants? The answer, of course, is that it can't and it won't. That is why many of us supported the bond measure's intent to provide an off-site multi-acre preserve for all the elephants, including Packy. Despite the fact that the bond measure was dubbed the Packy Bond, the zoo director has stated she will never let Packy go. I ask, therefore, that Metro approve an independent veterinarian to review Packy's medical history and make a determination as to whether he can be removed to a preserve or sanctuary. Some of the same conditions that Judge Siegel ruled against the LA Zoo are here in our zoo. To name a few, an electrified fence that keeps the elephants from reaching the trees outside the perimeter of their yard. Hard surfaces. The judge ordered the zoo to rototill the ground in order to make it softer for the elephant's feet. Is this being done at the Oregon Zoo? Head bobbing. The judge chastised the LA zookeepers for not recognizing this behavior for what it is, a sign of extreme stress. Paki, Rama, etc. are constantly bobbing their heads and pacing. Walking the elephants. The judge ruled that the LA Zoo will now have to walk their elephants a minimum of 2 hours a day. Is that being done here at the Oregon Zoo? The use of bullhooks. Unfortunately, the Oregon Zoo does still use bullhooks. Paki, Rose2, Shine, Chandra, Tusco, Rama, and even Samudra have served their time. Paki has given 50 years, his entire life, to the people of Oregon. It is time that we give him and the rest of the elephants the retirement they deserve and the space we voted for in 2008. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Ms. Newell?
Do I need to give my address? Anyway, I'm here today. Governor Roberts, with all respect, I think you've saved a lot of lives by closing the Trojan nuclear plant, and I thank you for that effort. I also thank you for the wonderful effort on the behalf of autistic children and their conditions and how they were treated and misunderstood for so many years. And I think that this also fits with Paki. If you observe closely, and I think the LA court is right on, I don't see a necessity here for a lawsuit, but if we have to, we will follow through. But I think that's a waste of taxpayers' money for one thing. For the other thing is they've already given their intent. The public voted for something. We're very generous in that vote, and it was an overwhelming vote. And we're not following through with government policy, and it keeps drifting and drifting. Why should citizens trust you? Why should citizens today having more difficult time trusting governance trust your handling of their money or their intent when they have such a wonderful intent to preserve an animal that has served us so beautifully for 50 years? I mean, I don't know what elephant years are in comparison, but dog years, 7 years for one human year. I don't know how that fits with elephants, but he's been there a long time. And he's showing all the effects. I don't think anybody thinks that an elephant is healthy standing in place and going like this and having sores all over his head. That's the indicators. So why don't we follow through much more quickly? Why don't we work out some kind of mediation where we can satisfy the need much sooner than is being addressed by this council? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Heineman?
My name is Deneen Heineman. I live in Portland. All of us have better things to do than be here or than constantly typing to our representatives or gathering at the zoo in protest, etc., repeatedly questioning where our money went and where it is going. We interrupt our days that are already filled with studying, jobs, families, and health issues. This is no game for us, no fun time, no big thrill. This is obviously something we believe in deeply, or we wouldn't be spending our valuable time doing it. We have the right to know these things of the 2008 bond measure. Where is our money at the moment? What is happening with it? We feel the public is entitled to quarterly updates regarding all projects, including progress with the offsite preserve. Who or what is holding this up? Why is it taking so long to see even a shovelful of earth broken on the preserve? When can we and the elephants expect to see what we voted on and paid for? I attended the last oversight meeting where erosion concerns were the topic for the site, having to call in more engineers, etc. I find it frustrating that groups of people with high-level educations did not foresee these concerns and neither searched for another site nor got to work on the problem a lot faster than they did. Nearly 4 years, and we the voters and our elephants have yet to see this grandiose new site. I found an interesting paragraph on the KGW website. Quote, next up are expansions of the Asian elephant habitat. Paki, the patriarch bull elephant, turned 50 this past week. Zoo leaders hope Paki lives to see his home improved and quadrupled in size to 6 acres. End quote. Zoo leaders hope Paki lives to see his home improved and quadrupled. I find that sentence to be depressing yet indicative. You can also see this on-site expansion and the off-site preserve are taking longer than necessary, is what this says to me. I, for one, am tired of how long this is taking, of the little bits of information we're allocated. and the overall feeling that not only will the preserve never happen, but it was never so intended. Thank you.
Nanette Jones.
The 7 elephants that we have on 1.5 acres of land at the Oregon Zoo, in an exhibit that's way outdated. In 2008, the generous voters of Portland voted to expand our elephant exhibits and give our beloved pachyderms more space for the world's largest land mammals. The zoo sold us this, this bond as the Packy bond, as being urgent and of the utmost necessary that we act on this right away. Yet here in 2012, nothing's been done. Packy's on his 3rd set of teeth, and we all, you know, that's 50 years in isolation for an animal who's very social, loving, intelligent creature who has not been able to spend any of his life with another elephant. I mean, we don't even do that to the most heinous human criminals, okay? Now, 2012, there's still been no ground broken on the expansion for Portland's 7 largest land mammals. Packy has been waiting 50 years. The last zoo director, Tony Vecchio, said Packy will finally be able to make decisions about how he spends his day if the Portland voters vote on this bond. Well, 2012, Packy still does not get to have any say in how he spends his day. Or do the other 7 elephants, or 6 elephants. Actually, one's on the way. Rose 2 is pregnant. So we're going to have 8 elephants on 1.5 acres of land. That's sort of hoarding, I would say. I mean, in LA, the whole lawsuit, they have 3 elephants on 6 acres of land. I don't know a neighborhood association that even allows more really than 4 dogs in a neighborhood compared to 8 elephants in a neighborhood if you wanted to move in. So I wonder, why is the zoo being allowed to have 8 elephants on 1.5 acres of land? Also, the fact that these elephants, 1.5 acres of land, have actually broken up, that's not all the space that they actually get to stay in, because half of those are barns. So why, on cold nights, when half the elephants are inside, the other half are outside, because we do not have adequate space to house all of our 7, let alone 8 elephants, all in the barn together. Also, on 1.5 acres of land broken up into to small quadrants, these animals are constantly walking in circles, making the subset very hard and compact, which a majority of animals die from joint disease, foot problems, and degenerative bone disease because of lack of exercise. Thank you.
Thank you.